Dose of Daryl entitled Chunk. I've ran across in a box some things I haven't seen in 40 to 50 years. One was a metal Social Security card, mine. And it reminded me that there's a whole lot of little chunks in that box, and the word chunk is so strange. In fact, these photos that I haven't seen in almost 50 years carried me back to the time when I walked on at Auburn University. I'd always enjoyed sports. I found that I could chunk things. and you may have heard of a spear chunker. Well, I learned one chunk at a time to be able to finally make the team. And it was really a great experience. I got to move to being the top chunker. and as I did that, I practiced and practiced one chunk at a time. And that experience taught me something about life, taking things one chunk at a time. And no matter what you're dealing with in life, it takes determination to do one chunk at a time. But eventually there are rewards and perhaps scholarships and things. And the overall team is really benefiting. Now, another thing that I found was the thing that we got when we finally chartered as a fraternity, chunk by chunk, founding a great fraternity on campus. And it was a great team of people to work with, and we all had little chunks to do. And we went from colony to charter, chunk after chunk. Then I found this from Reverend Clyde Fields, my first chunk from art director to pastor. And then 4 more years of graduate studies, serving 2 churches, papers, orals, one chunk at a time. And then came to Providence Church in Alamance County, and the first sketch toward $2 million for the hungry. I ran across that after 40 years. One T-shirt at a time. Even found the old silk screens where we silk screen shirts out in the hut. The initial branding at Providence 41 years ago, the first chunk, and the T-shirt screen that we used to start identifying as a church in the community, printing in the hut. And then I ran across a guy that reminded me about each team, each generation, and the chunks that went by. It was a 56-year-old man that recognized me. He was a little kid on the team and was so excited about that. And then a few of them can take a chunk out of the budget, and many of you may be dealing with that. And so I learned that they make various cars, and I got one to take a smaller chunk out of the budget. 60 to 65 miles per gallon really helps make smaller chunks. Driving today, I found out I had to go one chunk after another, because you can't go real fast and too far when the sun is right in the center of the interstate. Now, another thing, when I turned 70 years old, I had turned into a chunk. And I realized that I needed to transform. And so I transformed one chunk after another chunk, and I lost the chunk in little chunks. And so there were inspiring chunks and rewards to be found there. I love healthy food and healthy chunks of food like nuts and fruit. Really is a way that word reminds me to not only be creative, but to be healthy, and it comes in chunks. Overall health does. So pray, focus, meditate, and take action in your life, and take the little chunks of whatever it is you need to do. This Daily Dose of Daryl entitled Chunk, a play on words. Whether you chunk things, eat chunks, or become a chunk, take life in chunks. It adds up and will amaze you through the years, and there will be rewards and inspiring things to happen to you. God bless you, and go out and chunk something.